Hello everyone and welcome to a very good-looking episode of Computer Games. Today's feature is the first title in what would go on to be the best-selling home console franchise of all time, Super Mario Kart. As someone who has been playing this title since its original release back in 1992, I've certainly had a lot to compare it to since then. While this isn't mentioned in the same vein as Mario Kart 64 or DS, I feel this title stands out as being on with the hardest difficulty. If you fall behind, there is no bullet bill or blue turtle shell coming to save you. This wasn't a Mario Kart for kids to talk about at recess. This was state-of-the-art weaponry and the legendary 16-bit console wars. This was meant to show what the Super Nintendo could do that the Genesis couldn't. A death blow aimed at the PC Engine and its luxurious CD add-on. This was truly a title that showed off just how much better games of a certain style could look on the SNES with its enhanced development modes. Things have come full circle in the HD era as Super Mario Kart is showing off the graphic capabilities of another console, the Hyperkin Retron 5. Does the Rertron 5 do Mode 7 better than the original hardware? In my opinion, yes. With the system's pixel scaling filter enabled, this looks like it could be the lost 16-bit arcade version of the SNES Classic right down to the dual-screen presentation. If you have played Super Mario Kart on the SNES Classic or the Switch Online service, you'll notice a stunning contrast on how less pixelated the game looks as you see here. While some people are purist and want to see Mode 7 presented as blocky as possible, I think the graphics filter allows players to see the game with much better clarity, making this an overall superior experience, along with a much more detailed presentation of the course. The upscaled characters and in-game items have a more three-dimensional look. This is a stunning effect you see the Rertron 5 pull off in other 16-bit titles, but this is a textbook example on how the system can make games you are very familiar with seem brand new. On a scale of 1 to 5, I give the graphics in Super Mario Kart a 5 out of 5. The bright colorful world that moves at a blazing fast 60 frames per second looks amazing. With the magic of pixel scaling, this classic title looks better in HD than it could on any high-end CRT display. Purists be damned. If you have played Super Mario Kart on the SNES Classic or the Switch Online service, you'll notice a stunning contrast on how less pixelated the game looks as you see here. While some people are purist and want to see Mode 7 presented as blocky as possible, I think the graphics filter allows players to see the game with much better clarity, making this an overall superior experience, along with a much more detailed presentation of the course. The upscaled characters and in-game items have a more three-dimensional look. This is a stunning effect you see the Rertron 5 pull off in other 16-bit titles, but this is a textbook example on how the system can make games you are very familiar with seem brand. The sound also takes a big jump in quality on the Rertron 5. The digitized instrument samples from the SNES sound CD quality, with individual notes being easy to hear without any reverb. Sound effects sound more like they are coming from a cartoon than the SNES cartridge. It's interesting to note that Super Mario Kart stands out as a 16-bit racing title with no voice work, but the overall sound design is simply iconic and has been influential in countless other titles since its release. On a scale of 1 to 5, I give the sound a 4.5. The Super Mario Kart soundtrack is some of Nintendo's best work ever. The music would go on to influence every Mario title that preceded it. Sound effects are so well placed, they are an essential part of the overall experience. Playing it on the Rertron 5 is like sitting down in front of the Nintendo arcade game that should have come out after Super Punch-Out. The gameplay control scheme featured in this title may be the most influential in all of gaming history. If you speak to anyone who has operated a vehicle with an electric motor, the number one remark you hear is how much it reminds you of Mario Kart. I can personally attest to how similar the interface of a Segway scooter is, with a series smooth acceleration with the ability to make sharp turns close to 20 miles an hour. 60 FPS. Super Mario Kart feels like you are controlling one of the many modern electric vehicles that have become mainstream transportation alternatives. It's incredibly simple, but at the same time feels more from the modern era. The 1992. One of the most impressive features introduced by Nintendo in this title was the power slide mechanic. This gave the gameplay an incomparable air of depth as you could see your times on tracks improve more you mastered this technique. Super Mario Kart earns an absolute perfect 5 out of 5 for its control scheme. A technical achievement that has transcended the realm of video games. So if for some reason you haven't given the original Mario Kart a try or have just tried it on the Switch Virtual Console, it is really worth giving this title a shot on high-end hardware. The single-player experience is challenging but still fair. You earn victories and so does the computer. Power-ups can give you an incredible advantage, but they are not auto-targeting game changers. You need to use judgment, and if you can't aim and land your shots, you'll stay behind. The Battle Arena mode is also exceptionally done. If any negative can be attached to Super Mario Kart, it's that it was so much better than all of its competition. No company including Nintendo tried to make a follow-up. Yes, Super Mario Kart was so impressive no major development studio wanted to compete with it. Any attempt to ride the series' wave of success started in the next generation after the release of Mario Kart 64. Studio giant Sega, Electronic Arts, and NEC couldn't come up with anything that could compete with a game that created its own sub-genre. It's hard to call a game like Super Mario Kart underrated, but there is a case that over time people have stopped putting it into the same category as Link to the Past, Super Metroid or Mario World and other super elite SNES games. It is a masterpiece of computer programming and game design that is an absolute must-play, no matter how advanced you consider later titles in the series. If the dictionary included a picture of a video game synonymous with the word fun, it would probably be Mario Kart. Super Mario Kart is where all the fun started and is still a first-rate experience that had a great deal to do with the overall game design of Mario Kart 8. Arguably one of the top 10 most popular games of the 2010s. The coin-based performance mechanic was only employed in these two titles and helps balance out the randomness that can sometimes punish skilled players for being on the wrong side of the power-up late in a race. Super Mario Kart earns a fun factor score of 5 out of 5, a crowning achievement in the historical Nintendo library. Thanks again for tuning into Computer Games. Please feel free to comment and make any request on what you'd like to see in future content.